YouTube, it's Zoe, and today I am here with my dad. He has been in several of my videos, including all of my readathon vlogs, and many of you have asked him what his all-time favorite books are. So that is the point of this video. His top 10 favorite books / book series. So starting with number 10!
The Adept series by authors Catherine Kurtz and Deborah Turner. A series of books that's about a Scottish nobleman and physician who is also an adept or magician charged from protecting the world against dark magic. This is a theme that we've seen many times in many different series.
Harry Potter.
Star Wars. But this one was one of the first ones that I really got into. It wasn't hugely popular at the time, but I think it's held up well through the years.
Number 9!
This book is called A Dirty Job by author Christopher Moore. It's about a misfit named Charlie Archer who has to deal with the raising of his infant daughter by himself after the death of his wife. He is now the Death of San Francisco.
What?
He is Death. He's responsible for collecting the souls of the dead.
Did he just wake up one day and was like, guess I gotta do it?
It's something that came along with this infant daughter. It's quite...
Is she evil?
She's not evil. Death is neither evil nor good.
That is true.
Christopher Moore, pick up one of his books. I think you'll be pleased.
Number 8.
The Dragonriders of Pern, a long-running series started back in 1968 by Anne McCaffrey. Anne McCaffrey herself is no longer with us, but her son has picked up as the author of the more recent books. So there are many books in this series.
How many books are there?
I'd have to go and look that up.
There's too many to even...
There's more than 20.
Woo! Have you read all of them?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've read like the first
Get on top
14
of
or
it,
15.
Dad. You've only read the first 15.
My favorites, of course, are the ones that were published early in the series. When you're first reading a series, when they set up all of the situation, the world, discovering all that's new about it, that's always my favorite part of any new series.
Usually
right?
the first book is always my favorite.
But the Dragonriders of Pern, excellent fantasy novel that's been around for decades.
Number 7!
It's the Belgariad series by author David Eddings. It's another fantasy series. As you can tell, a lot of the books on my list are series in the Belgariad series. It follows a young man named Garion and his family of sorcerers as they race through this medieval world where Garion has to learn how to battle for his life against another evil sorcerer.
You like the fantasy.
Named Torak, in this case.
Torak.
He has to battle him before he destroys all of creation.
Dun, dun, dun. Number 6!
The Golden Age of the Solar Clipper series by author Nathan Lowell. And this one is not fantasy, this is science fiction.
Wow!
When his mother dies in a flitter crash, 18-year-old Ishmael Horatio Wong must find a job or he's forced to leave the planet. And so he enlists as a lowly quarter share in a deep space merchant vessel. Starts off with quarter share and works its way up through these shares that he gets. So the first book is called Quarter Share, followed by Half Share, Full Share, yeah, as it goes on. The last one came out a few months ago. I read it the day it was released on Amazon. Nathan Lowell started off with just publishing these online for free.
Oh!
And he recorded them as audiobooks. It is such an excellent series. I didn't read or listen to audiobooks before this series, and this opened up a whole new...
You listen to audiobooks all the time now. Number 5!
A series called the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. This is another fantasy series, and it follows the exploits of Harry Dresden, who's a professional wizard in Chicago. And as is on theme for these series, he must battle evil.
How are you a professional? Is it set in our world?
It could be.
Alternate
It's
universe?
almost like an alternate universe, but everything that happens in it could actually happen in our universe as well.
You said professional wizard. That sounds really cool.
And he is the only known professional wizard who actually advertises in the Yellow Pages.
Back when they were in
Anybody
Yellow
remember
Pages.
what those are? This is a whole series of books. It's also published as comic books. There was even a half season of a TV show that was made with input by Jim Butcher. Unfortunately, it didn't take off.
Was it good?
I thought it was good. It had the same characters, but the story was slightly different. Maybe that's the reason why it didn't catch on.
You gotta stick to the script. Number 4.
A question that I've seen over and over again is, who was the author or what was the book that really got you into reading? And that author to me is definitely Robert A. Heinlein. I first read Heinlein back in middle school. This was all due to my best friend at the time,
Aww.
Dan. We had a long bus ride to school, uphill both ways.
In the snow?
In the snow.
With no shoes?
It was actually very northern Minnesota,
Yeah.
so yes, it was in the snow. So it would take us on average 45 minutes to an hour to get to school. So we brought books. There are actually 2 really excellent books from this author. The first one that I have on my list, and that was Time Enough for Love. If you don't read anything else by Heinlein, you should read this book. This follows the life of the oldest person who's ever lived, born in the early 1900s, and he's alive almost 2,000 years later.
I would like to have that lifespan, please.
It follows many of the important events that have happened throughout his life. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry. So the other book by Heinlein that I want to also have as number 4 is Stranger in a Strange Land. The main protagonist is named Mike, who is actually a human born on Mars. He speaks Martian because in this world, Martians are real, they actually do exist, and Mike was raised by them and then sent back to Earth.
Did they not like him? Was he too annoying? They're like, take him back.
The Martians think that humans are a waste of space. Mike is trying to teach humanity how to defend themselves against the Martians so that the Martians don't wipe out all humanity.
How does he speak English?
You have to read the book.
I guess I have to.
This book is also going to be supposed to be made into a TV series by the Sci-Fi Channel.
Number 3.
Yet another book or series that's been made into a TV series.
I feel like you're cheating with your top 10 favorite books. It's top series. This is like top 100 favorite books.
Another question that has been asked is, what book or series have you read recently that was recommended to you by Zoe on Read by Zoe? And
what is it?
It's by Cassandra Clare, the Shadowhunters series.
Which one? Particular? Which one's your favorite? Are you more of a Mortal Instruments type of guy or Infernal Devices?
My favorite is definitely Infernal Devices.
I also like Infernal Devices the best. Will Herondale and also Jem. I like both of them equally. Who do you like better?
I like aspects of both of them.
Yeah.
I would probably, well, Jem is so loyal and patient.
Little Hufflepuff.
And Will is also very giving, and I mean, they both love Tess so much.
Yeah.
So, my favorite's Tess.
Tessa, you don't even
Tessa.
know her name. Fake fan. Continue. You knocked me off the chair. But yes, I was the first one to force him to... Well, actually, you watched the movie adaptation first. The one with Lily Collins. He saw that before, and he's like, this isn't that bad, and then he picked up the first book. Have you seen the TV show?
I've seen the first 2 episodes. I like the books better.
You've read the newest book, right?
I have.
Lord of Shadows.
I have.
I still have not read Lord of Shadows, so he is actually ahead of me. Number 2!
Number 2 on the list will probably be no surprise, and that would be J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series.
I'm so surprised you liked Harry Potter. What?
I mean, this is everyone in the immediate family, my mother.
It's because of the family that I got into the books. We would go to the Barnes & Noble for all the midnight releases.
For the premieres, yeah. When they would release the book.
I wish they would do that again for books. Just a suggestion, world. We should bring back midnight releases. Dad's number 1 all-time favorite book of all time, I said that several times, is, drumroll please.
You messed up my hair. So my favorite is actually not a specific book, but is a specific author. And that author is Terry Pratchett, who's a British author who actually passed away a couple of years ago. The series that he published, he did publish a couple of series, but my favorite was the Discworld series, targeted as young adult fantasy.
Really?
And they're all pretty short, so they're quick reads, but there's a lot of them. They're fun to read, very British humor.
Well, seeing as he is British.
He is British. Very weird magic, and usually magic does not feature heavily. They're just in a world that has magic.
He's been trying to get me to read these books my entire life, and I have not. He has read all the ones I forced him to read, but yet I'm stubborn. So that is my dad's top 10 favorite books slash series slash authors of all time. And now we're going to go into a little Q&A. I asked you all earlier on Twitter for some questions you wanted to ask my dad. So where'd I put my phone? I'm gonna go find my phone and then I'll ask you questions. I found my phone, and question number 1 is from Gabby, and they say, has he been sorted into a Hogwarts house? If so, what house is he in?
Hufflepuff.
The next question is, what's your best piece of parenting advice for raising readers? How do you think parents can be more influential in their kids' reading?
We started reading to them at bedtime when they were old enough to understand what a book was. A good friend of ours gave us a full series of Dr. Seuss books.
Oh yeah.
And we read all the Dr. Seuss. We read Berenstain Bears. We read a bunch of these child books, and that would be every single night before bed. That was part of getting ready for bed.
Fox and Socks was my personal favorite. FYI, if you need a recommendation.
It got to the point where you could read the books to us.
Are you a Lord of the Rings fan? If so, who is your favorite character? We just watched Fellowship of the Ring last night, so this is a very applicable question.
That is a series that didn't make it onto my top 10, though I have read The Lord of the Rings twice. It's a long read. It would probably be about 12 on my list. It's almost a mandatory read, I think. It's like Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen.
Have you read Pride and Prejudice?
I have read Pride and Prejudice.
Why is it not your number 1 favorite book of all time, Dad?
Jane Austen is not on my top 10. We can have different interests. The character that I would aspire to be, which would be Samwise Gamgee.
Ugh.
Everybody should try to be
character.
Sam. He's loyal and smart and hardworking and...
It's so cute. But who is your favorite?
My favorite is really Gandalf the Grey.
Next question, how can I make my dad read?
We have a good example of that. My mother,
oh yeah,
your grandmother, had never read like young adult type books. We got her
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
And now she's so into it.
I think it's simply finding a genre that they find very interesting, enough so that would distract them from, you know, the television, social media, something that they would find worth their time, because so many adults are so busy all the time.
Try to see what your dad likes to watch on TV. Find a similar book. So if your dad is really into superhero movies or something like that, try to find books that have supernatural elements in them, or like superpowers. I think everybody is a reader because reading is an enjoyable thing. They just don't know what books they like. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for joining me. He did very well. He wrote up an entire script of things to say because he's super prepared. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon in my next video, which probably won't feature my dad. Bye, Dad. Bye. You can leave now. It's Zoe's channel. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.